Hello and welcome back to Bastide. We don't have any previous games that I've gotten rid of just because there's been changes. One of the changes here says experimental procedural generation. So we got our I think there's a couple maps, a small, medium, large that's kind of already taken care of. It'll have a connection to other areas, but the procedural one does not have any other enemies on the map, so kind of gives you a nice idea of what's going on. You can kind of get used to some of the changes. I think a lot of these changes have made this game more challenging, and that you have to pay close attention to what's going on, even more so in the beginning. I have a nice little loading screen here, an example. Different. I always like having these different screens. It's nice to see different pictures of what things could be like. You have really large fields in this screen here. So we have the standard well to start off with, the warehouse where you can tick on and off what you want in there, so you can customize them. Wood house, a wooden hut. I would like to get another wooden house because I think so you can only have 4 on a 4. I don't know if these couples can have kids as is, and your people are very valuable. We have a stockpile that actually shows some wood and whatnot here. We got 50 to start out with. That's very nice. Some animals and stuff that are nearby. So there's a lot of different changes. So with this procedural experimental thing, we're in a island. So thus there's not going to be enemies coming by. It's really neat to see that there's been a little bit of water and ponds, and there's different variation to the elevations and stuff around here. Could make building challenging and whatnot. So we have, let's go a 1 speed. We have people going a little slow. One of the things is new is miscellaneous paths. So it can't be exactly really close to the buildings, but it can be somewhat. And then you can, of course, make it diagonal and whatnot. I'm going to start out like this. I'm kind of wanting to get rid of this, really. But I do like to get a new house in, not a wood hut. We need a wooden house. Don't have quite enough stone for the other stuff. And we have the little green box here that lets you know which direction they're coming in. And I did have it for a moment. So it's going to be tricky. Probably if you want to have roads, you're probably going to want to have the roads down first and then placing things. So it could be kind of nice way to map out your place. Right now we have nice little curved bits on the end here. Let's have people make sure they're cutting down some things here. And we're going to need lots of rocks. So paths have been added, and also the people and animal pathing has been updated. So that is also a nice bonus. Speaking of animals, I had played a touch and found out with making some clothes, you better have sheep. Our clothing stuff has changed. In our production, we now have a tannery, so if you get leather, you gotta tan that. And to make the warmer stuff, you're gonna need the tanned leather and wool. If not, then you can use the gatherer or crop fields and get the cloth from gathering. Or you go cotton to make stuff. do want to gather anyhow for getting medicine and such. I think I will put the gatherer out this direction, even though it's further away. And we'll put the forester. Resources, yes. And this has a nice ring to it. And anytime you select it, it'll have the ring there for you. So you know what area it covers. So our people start doing that. Got a whole bunch of laborers. I do need to get food in, so chickens and cows are good because they'll start making some food from the get-go. Let's get a pasture. It is a little bit different looking, and depending on what type of animal, it's going to be dependent on how many you can fit in there. Alright, so I see I'd really like to start here, but see our door is where we end. So it's I kind of wish it was the opposite way, because I want it to butt up with this and the road. Let's make the road first. So the roads definitely seem like you need to figure that out first, and then try to fit in the size. These pastures and stuff are free, so that's a good thing. You can try to keep doing them over and over again, but a little bit annoying. That will work for me because the entrance is over there. Okay. We have pigs and we have sheep. Let's set this to sheep. It is set to sheep, good. Let's capture and set a person there. Okay. I want a little more path somewhere over here. And the field won't really matter, so we can start the farm here on the corner. Actually, if I want to make it a large one, I'm probably going to need to do the path further out, because it'll probably not let me build it afterwards. So this is where, if you like planning, this works out great. So yeah, let's do it long ways this way and try to do it that way. So wheat, cabbage, pumpkin, and cotton. I do want them to have some food, so I do want them to get that going. So then we got a farmer and an animal farmer. We need a gatherer. And then we have our forester taken care of as well. It's a pretty long distance over there. So I don't think it'll matter too much about how we do this path, because they in general have so much different space for planting that I'm not really concerned about it. Let's get it up to 3 speed at night. Alright, so I got some rocks and trees tagged. See another little sheep can get captured. We can do 10, so that's quite a bit. That one looks like it's still kind of walking in here. I think it'll take quite a bit of time to kind of get these things laid out kind of the way you'd want to look at it, and you have to take some practice here. So our forester will start doing this. I think, see, he can carry it all the way down here. If I put a stockpile over here, builders are going to have to go all the way down there and then back. So that's kind of like half a dozen one way and 6 the other. But we do need it because we are going to need another blacksmith here. Let's look at our production. Blacksmith. I can get this guy on the corner as best as we can in this angle. So he's pretty close to that road, which I like that. Got 3 people there. Okay, and cabbage there. So around this, I think the warehouse would be nice to have a whole bunch of road and stuff around it. Kind of looking like we're not going to be able to stick a road there, unfortunately. We can stick one behind it. Even though it doesn't have it has a door just on one side. It may still make things a little bit faster for the people. So let's look food. And the other new thing is a orchard. So that is pretty nice. They're kind of, okay, we're gonna need to place this just so. Right. A little trouble with the icon not showing up. Let's select something else first. There's the field. Let's go back to orchard. Yeah, it's not showing up. It showed up the first time for me. This isn't a new thing that's added, so that's too close to the road. Does look like we could make it fairly large. Just have to guesstimate here. So I haven't run into too many bugs, but this is one of the first, no matter where I'm placing it. Okay, we will get it eventually here. No, unfortunately that's not going to work right here. Okay, we will maybe come back to that because it's still thinking that I'm on the orchard stuff here, and that's not working out, unfortunately. Okay. They want a wood hut. I do not want a wood hut. So what I'd like here is, oh, I need more trees. Yeah, it's constantly stuck on this orchard thing, unfortunately. Oh, how odd. I just tried putting down a pasture and hopefully this will get rid of it. Let's try doing another pasture. Aha. It seems to be working now. Okay. It just insisted that we try to get that orchard down. Alright, so we need a tailor still. We have 11 clothes, so that's kind of good. Resources mining. So it's different. You're not having these little squares to place it on. So in this case, it can be really close to town if we want to. I do not know if this affects how much we can get out of it. And it is instantly done. Let's try to get road. And looks like we can kind of get close to it. That way they can get right to the stockpile as well. And again, need more wood. So that will take a bit of time here. We've gotten 9 cloth. some berries, mushrooms, herbs. It seems that the gatherer is more efficient gathering things than in previous versions, which is really nice because it was a little difficult. Alright, that's kind of weird how some of the people move. See how that goes as time goes on. We do not have a lot of food, but we do have the cow, so then we're going to get some milk out of it. 32 cabbage. I think they'll eat the berries. It appears they're eating berries, so that's a good thing. Alright, Taylor. Let's look at that. Our tailor will take wood and stone. The tannery just takes wood, but the tailor can use the cloth. So that's kind of like survival coats. It's kind of the easier option. You know, warm coats are going to take a little while to get made. You usually don't start off with the fancy stuff at the beginning. Alright, I'm interested in seeing how well or not well some of this goes across hills, and might as well make it a little bit easier for the gatherer to bring stuff back. Let's get that cow. If we can get more of them, then we can get more food in. And I think that'll be max. So now 10, we're at max here, and we're going to start slaughtering the extras. So we're getting a little bit. We got a couple kids. It does kind of help not having your people feel like they're risking themselves to possibly die from having enemies come in here. So I am going to attempt to do this again and hopefully not mess it up again, because I was just trying to be a little too picky with getting it close to the road. Let's go ahead and get a decent size here. Let's see, let's temporarily take off the gatherer and add on the orchard. And apparently it's pears, so that's what we can make here. Assuming it's going to take a time to plant, and then it'll take a little while for food to actually come up from that. So I don't know if this is something with this version or if something with my settings, because as far as I know, all my settings have been pretty high settings, especially with the newer graphic card. I haven't had troubles, but previous versions you could actually see the plants here. And at that time it was also just the wheat I think you could grow. And so things have been added, so maybe it's still in the works. I just didn't know if it was me or the game. And it looks like this person is now planting the orchard. So it's kind of hard to see. If you can't see the plants, then you don't know if they're going to get ready to harvest or whatnot. Merchant has arrived. And then they appear right at the warehouse here. So we could sell them these things, and we can then buy these things from them. And we really don't have anything here. We have a little bit of leather. Oh, we actually have a decent amount of wool, don't we? I mean, I don't know if there'd be really worth anything to buy. Clothing takes 25. So we'd have to sell that to get one of those. But, you know, we can do that for now. It is still just a test game. I do like the new fencing style here. I do like that you can see the items a little bit better here in Stockpile. kind of get more of a feel of what's going on there. And I don't think any textures or whatnot's changed in any of this. I do still occasionally see logs just kind of sitting around. I don't know if that's just graphical kind of thing or if the workers have gone from chopping down a tree and then going on to the next tree and getting the next logs and then forgetting about the ones that were already there. Alright, looks like they're starting to use some of their firewood here. Okay, that's good to see there that they've got some food in here. So I'm guessing they got a little bit of water. It seems that whatever's in their storage is not getting counted in here. This is kind of like your overflow stuff. Which in turn can be a good thing, because I thought we were all out of berries, but technically we have them. And then that way also your total storage doesn't get overrun either, because it's going on up here into the houses. Also, in previous games I've tried deleting this, and I don't know if this stuff poofs or goes back into circulation. We have one person here. They can move into this house. I'm going to try this. So we have 8 cabbage. I got 15. Let's go ahead and destroy the house. And we still have 15 there. Now I probably should have looked at these houses, because what happens if the person's, like, it goes from the house inventory to the person's inventory? Let's look at the people. They kind of don't have an inventory. Okay, well, that is good to know also, that if you destroy it, it's just gone. So that would also be something really nice in the future, is if you're gonna destroy a building, yeah, okay, maybe can't, you know, recover some of the building materials, but at least recover their storage. I mean, that should be movable, and the water might be a problem. Maybe that's why it hasn't been done. But at least if there was some sort of transition of you have to have a laborer or something to move that stuff, because your laborers are also your builders. That way you just don't lose all the things there. Oh good, we do have trees here now. So nothing produced. Let's forward through this and see what happens. But also in the meantime, get a tailor down. Put it over here by the well. Oh, it's starting to get leaves on it. How nice. And it's only January. The temperature is pretty cold. Might be a little early for it, but you know, the crops and stuff aren't quite the same. They'll still be able to produce some. Maybe not in like the deep winter part, but they should be able to keep it going for a good bit of time. But the leaves in January might be a little too early for me. At least considering the temperature wise though. But it looks really nice with that on there. Can't tell if you didn't get to planting that or if there's a little glitch there or it's not quite. I mean, it should be big enough. But it looks really nice there. Okay. Well, I think it'll still take some bit of time, but we'll get this This is almost finished. Okay, good. So the change with the tailor is it needs 2 cloth or 3 cotton. So if you're relying on your gatherer, let's look at last year's. We got 10. So we're going to be able to make 5 coats out of that. So a gatherer is good because you're getting all the benefits. The other things, you're just not getting a lot of it. But if you do a field with cotton, you'll get a lot more. And so this is an ore, but the other one to make the warm clothing, you're going to need both the leather and this. So you're going to need to have the sheep and the cows. Or I think the pigs also do leather. Not remembering correctly on that. But we got both of our people crammed in there. This is, oh, it's already starting to produce. Okay, so I mean, it was planted last year. It takes a while to grow. Usually it takes a whole year or something for certain trees. But some of this stuff is accelerated. It's not like completely accurate timing, because every different area of on your continent takes a different timing and stuff too. So I mean, it would be really pesky details. But I'm happy with the way this looks. That's really pretty there. Just kind of concerned about that. I'll have to kind of keep an eye on that and see if other versions update that, and maybe it's on my end. But that is a good bit of some of the updates that they have. The people are working better. The animals seem to be working better. And it's nice with this new terrain things and the pathing going along with it and such. So we'll kind of keep an eye on even more updates. The main menu said Trello's going to get added. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.